And now we're going to send it down to Brendan Parker and Ryan Dittrick for tonight's Flames TV postgame show, presented by Original 16.
Up your game and celebrate things done well with the great taste of Original 16, official beer of the Calgary Flames. All right, welcome inside our Flames TV Live post-game show on a thriller here on a Tuesday night against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Just when you thought the Flames might be on their last leg in the third period, they find a way to equalize and eventually win it in a shootout. And it was 6 rounds deep, and it was a finish as the Flames are able to pull another one here out of the woodwork and find a way to come from behind to win yet again. Ryan Dittrick, Brendan Parker alongside as we break down this hockey game that finishes as a 4-3 final. And it looked like at one point in that third period that the Flames might not have much of that magic left, but they find a way to get it done here tonight. How'd they do it?
Pushback. This team just doesn't seem to quit no matter what the situation or what the score. And it was fascinating because when Pittsburgh pulled ahead in that third period, we saw the ice start to tilt backward a little bit for the Flames. And we were kind of waiting for that push to happen in the third period. They get that big goal from Nazem Kadri, obviously, with the goalie pulled. Yeah. So that just kind of gives you an idea of where this team's head's at in that situation. They're never out of a game. They wrestle their way through overtime. And, yeah, a little bit of a marathon, too. So, in the shootout. It was a fun night, and you know what? We were kind of hoping to see a little bit of a response from what we saw on Saturday. I think we saw it for the most part here tonight, and for the Flames to improve to 5-0-1 on the season, that gets a little bit nitpicky when you start looking back and criticizing puck play and things like that.
Sure,
it's all about the victories right now, and they're piling them up.
Yeah, well, we talk about the best in franchise history, the best through 5 games, 9 of a possible 10, and they add to it here tonight now through 6 games. Let's take a look at the highlights because we're talking about it. Some of the excitement, let's show you exactly how it goes down here tonight and run through it from start to finish. And in this one, it was the Calgary Flames that got out in front. But it wouldn't last necessarily that long. And this is back in the first period. Rasmus Andersson has been a catalyst offensively. He told me he was just waiting, just hoping that puck would find a way through to him, and it eventually did.
You know what, and this is great to see because this actually starts off the Rasmus Andersson in his own hands. Green light to head north. He does that, getting involved, and you love to stare down. I'm sure we're going to talk about this at points tonight, too, because that's just amazing to see. A little bit of a rallying cry for this team right now, too.
We might have to get that guy's name. He's been on the television so much here tonight. After 1 second period, though, Sidney Crosby goes to work and finds Brian Rust in the slot. Good offensive zone shift from the Pens.
Yeah, and for a while there, it sort of felt like this might turn into a bit of a special teams game. And for the Penguins, this is their power play. Looked pretty dangerous all night. It starts a grease area. You got win fouls, but of course you do have the skill to go along with it. That's Sidney Crosby taking it off the wall and making a perfect pass onto the stick of Brian Rust.
So for Rust, it's 2 on the season and a 1-1 hockey game heading into the third period. You had to like the position, and there were chances both ways, but it's the Penguins that end up going out in front momentarily first, and it's a goal from Ricard Raquel. Actually banks off the pad of Dustin Wolf.
Yeah, again, nothing fancy here, too. This is just a situation where the Penguins kind of come with numbers and they drive the defense back a little bit. And Ricard Raquel, typically known as more super, you'll see a little bit later in the shootout. But again, nothing fancy here. There was clearly a bit of a point of emphasis for the team, the Penguins that is, in this third period, just to get pucks on net, keep funneling them there and send bodies.
But the response comes courtesy Mackenzie Weegar, and that shot finds a way to the back net. It's a little help from the deflection of the stick of the Penguins player coming out to defend Weegar at the point, but it bounces and then goes in. So at that point, it's a 2-2 hockey game, but once again, the Penguins find a lead, and it's down with workload.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we talked about before, right? Just funneling pucks towards the net. This shift actually comes on the heels of one where they pinned the Flames in their own end for a minute 46. So a couple of gas players out there. They were able to get the change, but this is relentless, and this was what the Penguins were focused on in that entire third period.
So 3-2 is the lead for the Pittsburgh Penguins at this point. We get another look at the Achari goal. For him, his first of the season, but the Flames would not be denied with the net empty. A couple of face-off wins and a couple of opportunities finally leads to this goal from Nazem Kadri, who finds the loose puck after hit going on.
And you pointed this out as this sort of was all transpiring. 2 massive face-off wins by Nazem Kadri leads to this third period pressure with the goalie pulled. But, you know, again, Rasmus Andersson, we saw it earlier on in the game with the wheels going north up and joining right. But this the other side. Shots from the point and keep it simple.
Overtime solves nothing, so into the shootout we go, and there were goals, there were saves. That was a beauty from Anthony Mantha in his 500th National Hockey League game. Rasmus Andersson also had one that just drills in past the glove of Nedeljkovic, and game winner comes off the stick of Costco, as he's affectionately known as, Justin Kirkland, and that is a thing of beauty.
Scoring in bulk nowadays, isn't he? I mean, this guy, look, he's been just an incredible story for the Calgary Flames, and, you know, I hope we had a chance to hear from him at some point because,
for sure.
really appreciative. The story's amazing. Been through a lot to get to this point, and it's incredible when guys, typically in-depth roles, opportunities do open up as a result of injury. But this is a guy who's come in and has made the most of it. Like, honestly, we haven't seen very much of the past. So it's really cool to see, and for such a nice person too, just adds to the story a little bit.
Well, and he played some massive shifts in the third period of this hockey game too, and he was one of the guys that was caught out there late stages of the third, but they were able to survive, get out, and then a couple of PK shifts as well throughout the course of this game and some blocks early on. Yeah,
and that just speaks to the trust he's getting from Ryan Huska right now. You mentioned the bump up. He was going up there with Jonathan Huberdeau and Anthony Mantha a few times, but you mentioned the PK. We saw it last week when he was throwing his body in those 2 late-game blocks, ultimately still deal Flames. He had a big smile on his face as he was going through all that again.
100%.
Same thing again tonight. That Penguins power play, we alluded to it, just how lethal it can be. But when you have a guy that's sacrificing the body and doing it all for the team, this typically is the result you see.
Well, just looking at it now, that's 225 shorthanded, couple blocks in there as well, and then obviously the shootout winner, tidy night's worth
a little bit of everything
for Justin Kirkland. That's great stuff, and we'll hear from him in a moment. Let's first go inside the Flames locker room. I believe Nazem Kadri is standing by. Tied the game late stages, and we'll get a chance to hear him now.
Not that you need anything by way of redemption, but I would imagine just the idea of how tonight went personally and as a team, that one felt good.
Yeah, I kind of figured that one was coming, but that's what you want to do. You want to come up big for your team. Big shootout winner as well. So it wasn't pretty at times today, but we found a way, and that says a lot.
Can I just ask you about Kirkland, as a player, when you watch this story unfolding, we all know on the outside what it's like, but inside this room, when you see a guy like Kirkland doing what he's doing, what do you think?
It's inspiring, really. I really had no idea of his story when he came up here. Kind of learned more about him, becoming my teammate, and obviously scoring his first goal. So it's always a guy you're rooting for. He puts in the work as well, and he's a teammate. So I'm happy for him.
And at the other Dustin Wolf, right? Like here's a young guy and going up against some pretty big names and locked it down for the most part.
Yeah, he did. I don't think Wolfie has any shortage of confidence, and that speaks volumes when you want to become a NHL veteran. Got to have that confidence, even if you have an off night, be able to rebound. But he made some incredible saves today, and certainly gave us a chance.
You said yesterday, sort of like in relation to the game against Seattle, like no 2 games are going to be the same. Mm-hmm. This game felt like a game where momentum came in waves. And how important is it in this discussion?
Yeah, you gotta bend not break, so to speak. So I think that's what we did. Obviously, they're a good team with some high octane offense and some guys that can hurt you. In a shift or one play, you can keep them off the board most of the game. They make one incredible play, and all of a sudden you're chasing. So we fought together, we stuck together, and it feels good.
You saw quite a lot of emotion when you scored that goal. What's going through your mind at that point?
We tied the game with 25 seconds left. It's about as good as it gets. So when you're drawing 6-on-5 plays, I'm not sure what the percentage are scoring. I know the net's empty, and it's usually going back that way, but it feels nice to come up big for our team, and we're all over it. I deserve that one. Just tried to find some soft ice in the middle. I saw the shot get blocked. I just tried to track it as best as I could and release it as quick as I could. So luckily it found the back of the net.
Why has this group been so resilient so early on?
Nothing to lose. We understand. We understand the expectation of ourselves, but we understand the expectation of the outside world as well. And I think that motivates us and fuels the fire a little bit. And you always want to prove people wrong. And that's what we're trying to do this year.
All right, some good stuff there from Nazem Kadri as we welcome Blake Coleman to the desk. And Blake, boy, heck of a hockey game for a Tuesday night against Pittsburgh. As we've seen with this team, never out of it. How did you guys find a way again here tonight?
Well, that was a hard hockey game, pretty back and forth. They got a few bounces that went in, and we never really got down. We stayed with it, and we had some pretty good looks in the third, and then obviously the 6-on-5, the conversion big, and just get to tee at the point, and it's the year of Kirky, so exciting to see him cash in.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Take us through the 6-on-5 sequence, because you were taking abuse, as you said, in front of the net. That shot comes through. We're kind of waiting to see what that push would look like for you guys when it came there.
Yeah, it was it was just kind of a workman-like thing, and they were doing a good job getting in lanes. So, Weegs and Raz they were trying to do everything they could to get pucks through, and ultimately it kind of ends up a greasy one that they get almost all the way through here, and Naz is right on cue here, and gets us obviously a big goal to get that first point.
What shootout 6 rounds deep, and Justin Kirkland, you mentioned him. Just he comes over the boards with confidence, swagger, and then finish. It looked like the bench just sort of erupted. Obviously, a big moment, but clearly happy for the guy to continue this story.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I think I looked at Matty Coronado. I said, you've probably seen his move. What's he got here? And he's just like, I have no clue. And Kirky came in and just obviously with authority puts it in, and it's a great goal. It's a goal scorer's goal, and I'm sure him and his family will celebrate properly tonight.
Yeah, for sure. What's it like to, we got to know a little bit over this last week, 10 days, but when you have a guy that's come in, gets this opportunity as a result of an injury, which is a tough situation, but that's usually how it happens. But when he comes in and is just grabbing the opportunity like this, maybe, I imagine, sort of just everybody a little bit of him.
Yeah, it's I'm always of the mindset that you root for good people, and he's an awesome guy. Really enjoyed getting to know him, and it's nice that the games come along with it, and you look at the minutes he's playing, the situations that they're putting him into. Obviously, there's a lot of trust there, and he rightfully so. He's been really good for us, and good on both ends of the puck. So, see a guy like that get rewarded with the winners is pretty cool.
Great stuff.
I want to throw one more at you because we were canvassing the locker room. Rasmus's goal celebration. Your thoughts on that, and maybe taking any inspiration from him for you, or just gonna leave that to him?
I think that's out of my bag. I'll leave that to him. I know there was one picture that got him in a little bit of trouble with this old lady. Just happened to be a couple cuties in the front row, but I think he's being a little more selective now about who he's he's staring at. Yeah. But it looks like he found a good taker there.
This guy had more television time, I think, tonight than the rest of it.
Murray in the front row there.
Yeah, exactly. Lemieux taking a little heat in the front row. Great stuff tonight. You guys were buzzing all night long. It was fun to watch, and congrats on getting it done.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Colsey stopping by the desk. Always good to get some insight following the big victory here tonight. And they do it in the shootout. So let's hear from Justin Kirkland. Just talked about him. Here he is now, the shootout winner.
I imagine a moment like that did exist in your wildest dreams, but there were times where it felt like it wasn't happening. What do you?
Definitely my dreams before. Yeah. No, it's a special night, obviously, to get the win. It was a great comeback win and shows the character of our group and stuff. So, that was an awesome way to cap it off. And obviously, big credit to Dustin Wolf, too, who stood on his in there. So, it's fantastic for the guy.
Are you surprised he called you number? Be honest.
Yeah, I was a little bit. I've played for them before, but, there's some serious high-end skill in this room. I really wasn't expecting it, but I had that move for a while. And, it's worked before, so it was the most nervous I've ever been, but just unbelievable.
I heard you telling Wesley that move was fully planned out. Is that what you were doing?
Just don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody else.
So take me in advance, like, if you could tell me, how does this play out?
I just heard my name called, and I looked back to double check. Me? Okay. It was exciting. I knew, had a job to do, and that was to go out and try to score and have it win. And obviously, both made to be safe on this one. All in all, a fantastic night. Just absolutely living the dream.
Can you explain what goes through your mind after that finds the net?
A whole lot of relief. A lot of emotions too, though. It's exciting. A lot of nerves going, and then I go in. It's I don't know, just a little bit surreal that this is going on right now. So taking it all in.
Is it just an added shot of confidence for you that Huska would call your name in a situation like that?
Yeah, I mean it's special, and just coming every day with trying to have good work ethic, and if I'm in the lineup, great in any way that I can help this team win. That's what I'm willing to do. It is definitely an added confidence.
You said that after your first goal, your wife was waiting on the front lawn. It's a lot colder now.
Well, I got a little bit of a talking to after that one. I wasn't expecting that to be the headline. So, I woke up from my nap and she said, "I don't know whether to hug you or kill you right now." So, you know what? I don't know. We'll see when I get home what's waiting for me. So, it's awesome to support family important. Everyone's jumping with joy right now, so it's great.
What's the vibe in the dressing room the way this club's going right now?
I mean, it's great when you have a start like this, and like as we've touched on, I don't think there was a lot of expectations for this group. There's a lot of pride on proving people wrong, and it's fantastic to see the way that guys have bought into playing the right way and playing the system and a team game, and the results show that.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Well, now this is great television because we have the men responsible for that headline that got Justin Kirkland into hot water. What was the headline again, Pete?
Dancing in her pajamas, but in fairness, he served that up voluntarily.
Yeah,
This has nothing to do with me
The
whatsoever.
headline writers at Calgary Flames. I've been meaning to talk to you about this. CalgaryFlames.com.
Yeah, I think we need new ones somewhere around
so
here. No, look,
It
you know
was-
what, though?
It was a great story.
Unreal quote, unreal story, and really speaks to just the support, not only from what he's getting in the locker room, but at home as well. And that really helps round out what's just been a truly amazing story here.
What really amplified the moment, obviously. I was maybe just for some background.
Yeah.
This was after his first NHL
Yes.
goal up in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Scores against the Oilers, and then comes home, obviously, after the late night flight, right?
But who hasn't done that? You know, dancing in
Scored a
your
goal in
pajamas at 2 in the morning on driving.
Yeah, of course. All the big moments celebrated as such. Either way, a great story continues, and I thought Blake put it best. I mean, you can see you can't fake the moment and the reaction from the bench after that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we have that, guys. And I put spot a little bit there, but just reacting as he does the fly after scoring that goal. That's something that you can't fake. That's some genuine appreciation for the moment, and obviously for the player that provided it.
Yeah, and it's we've talked about the story of what's led him here. A guy that's in his late 20s, his first opportunity, scoring his school, 10 years after being drafted. I mean, all these guys in that locker room have worked towards that moment their entire careers, and this is a guy that really had to grind for it, and he faced some moments of uncertainty, and was in a terrible car accident at one point when he was in the Ducks organization that really had him questioning whether or not he would be able to get back not only to the NHL and have these moments that he's enjoying now, but play the game at all. So to see him come out on the other side of that and celebrate these moments with his wife, but also in that locker room, that scene from Ben is just incredible. Because you're right, you can't fake it. And we've been lucky to be inside that room to see how he's been embraced by everybody right now.
Yeah, here's his Kirkland's going to take the shot, and obvious timing here.
I love the focus from Kadri, too.
Yeah.
He's like, what are we going to see here?
Yeah.
That's great stuff. Look at that.
And there's the flyby zips by. Good stuff there, obviously. And all right, let's before we're going to go back inside the room, but let's first talk about Dustin Wolf, because it kind of gets overshadowed a little bit here by the end of it, just because of some of the other stuff that was going on. But by the end of it tonight, 35 saves, 4 more in the shootout, and just some quality work throughout the course of the night. What did you see from Wolf in his third start of the season and third victory, by the way?
Yeah, heavy volume. Probably more than what he's been used to so far at the NHL level. But I think what fascinates me is, this is a situation where we talked about the top. The Penguins really pouring it on a little bit. There's an emphasis on getting pucks to the net from all angles. So he had to deal not only with the volume of shot traffic, but also bodies as well. And he was contending, fighting for his ice, making the saves, coming out, as you just saw there, to the top of the paint, really challenging off angles. And shootout, tying guys like Chris Letang and taking away the shooting angle from Sidney Crosby. He talked about it yesterday, how he had a little bit of a brush with Crosby when he was younger. So this to come full circle as well.
Yeah, really
a pretty
cool.
Nice roundabout way to end the celebration. Speaking of celebrations, that's a great one too. So kind of gives you some insight into what this meant to the young man.
Yeah, he's turned aside 103 of 110 shots so far in 3 victories this season, and that doesn't include the shootout, which at the very end, as you can see, the one on Crosby obviously gives the post a little tap. But still makes the save. That still counts. And Loan Malkin's quality, he's going for the 5-hole there. That's a good stop.
That's a great stop. And by the way, since we're talking about the victories he's piling up, 4 straight to end last season as well. So he's on quite a tear right now. So it's a guy who was advertised to come in and be one of the goalies of the future here. Calgary, certainly out of the building.
All right, let's hear from now. Dustin Wolf, the winning goaltender on this night, makes 35 saves and then 4 more in the shootout.
It was probably the early scouting report when you were 11 years of age that helped you deny Sid and everybody. What was that like for you?
Oh, it's pretty cool. You know what? Those are 2 guys that have had heck of careers and are still going at it. At the end of the day, we're trying to get wins, and that's what we accomplished tonight.
But what were you thinking when you were going on one situation? You have all kinds of time to think.
I pride myself on shootout pre-scouts pre-game. So I had somewhat of an idea of what they wanted to do. They didn't do what I thought they'd do. I got a little off my post there, gave it a little kiss after, and and when you get a chance to close it and you're able to do that, it feels good.
Can I ask just for you guys? I mean, you guys have all had to work so hard to get here. Justin Kirkland's story, it was just amazing that kind of being the names up close, but the success is happening right now.
It's awesome. I got to play with him my first pro year in Stockton, and as soon as I seen he was going for the shootout, I knew we were going to win. He's Mr. Automatic when it comes to shoots, and I don't think I've seen him miss yet, so knock on wood. Let's keep it that way, but pretty often see what he's doing.
You said that's a move he's used before, so you've really seen it?
Yeah, he's got his patented move, but he's got a couple of tricks up his sleeve as well. So, I knew as soon as he touched the puck, he was going to score.
And you knew at the other end, okay, He's done his job. You got to do yours.
Exactly, and you know, it's pretty neat when you see 71 coming down on you, and you know, I knew if I tried to make it, I wasn't have him. So you know, fortunately he was doing that, but you know, it feels good to get that win.
Take us under the bench and the feeling when watching the tying goal go in.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the odds are kind of against you in that situation, but they were still on our best throughout the whole game. You know, they had a couple good breaks for their goals, and you know, I knew we were working hard at the end of the game, and obviously, you know, Coley gets hit with a shot, goes down, and then you see the puck in his hands go up in the air. It's pretty special. It just goes to show how resilient our group is becoming.
Is Kirkland scoring the winner? Is that almost symbolic of, you know, who was doing this? How are the Flames doing this?
You know, it's every single person in this room is contributing, and that's exactly what you need to hockey. You can't rely on 3, 4, 5 guys. It takes a whole group, and it's been pretty cool to see how well we've done for the first 6 games, and you know, we just need to keep our foot on the gas and keep going.
Dustin, why do you think this group is so resilient this season?
You know, I think there was a lot of talk last year of you know, guys coming and going, and you know, it's the business aspect of it. But you know, you see everybody ranking us pretty low preseason, and you know, we had a real good preseason as a group, and you know, there's never been a disbelief on how well we can do, and you know, I think that's gone to show for the first few games here, and it's only the start. It's a long season, but it's good to feel that success early.
Dustin, your first 3 starts here, it seems like you've really won 2 games. Is there any more confidence or just more getting settled in now that you've had those games last year and then just being at the peak in the start this year?
Yeah, no, I mean, anytime you get an opportunity, you want to, you know, put your best foot forward and show, one, you deserve to play in this league, and 2, you want to have your team win. And you know, I think the end of last season really helped me playing a lot of games in the last month and a half, and you know, I felt really good in the preseason. Came into camp, you know, wanting to play as best as I can, and you know, it's all good battle with me. And it's great to be that way because it pushes us to be better each and every day. And you know, if we're doing our job and we're helping our team win, then that's all we can ask for ourselves.
Thanks, Wolfie.
Yep. Yeah, you have to imagine, given what we heard from Dustin Wolf yesterday, explaining the history with Sidney Crosby back when he was 11 years old in California, to then kind of full circle get an opportunity to start against Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin in the Pens, and then not only that, but beat them thanks to a couple of shootout stops. Pretty cool moment, and something I'm sure he'll reflect upon a little bit later.
That was just a fantastic answer. I had both on in the shootout, but
yeah,
they didn't do what he expected at all. So
throw out.
You're right, and you know what? It's interesting too. We work in this business and are in that dressing room every day, so you never read 100% into the tone and tenor of player interviews. But the fact that Dustin Wolf, after that experience going up against one of the best ever to lace him up, is just completely, you know, that pulse doesn't move at all, whether it's on the ice or in the dressing room. Reflecting on that moment kind of gives you some insight into just his approach to the game.
All right, let's hear from the head coach now. Here's head coach Ryan Huska, his thoughts following 4-3 shootout victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins.
What made you pick Justin Kirkland in the shootout?
He's, I guess if you look at the American League stuff, like he scores all the time. So I was kind of kicking myself for not going to him earlier, to be quite honest with you. So guys that have played with him in the American League know he's pretty much automatic. So it was nice to see him score there tonight.
That story just keeps getting better.
Doesn't it?
You must love watching it. I mean, you see the bench respond accordingly.
Yeah, for sure. He's a good person that has worked a long time to try to get himself here, and now he's having some success. So it's a really nice story for us to be a part of.
A long time ago. Is this the guy that you had back then too?
No. I mentioned it before. The guy back then was more about all skill and not a lot of will. Now he's flipped it, where he still has a great skill set, but I would say he's more of a harder player than a skilled player now. So I mentioned before when he was in Milwaukee, I think Dean Evison was the coach. They moved him to center ice, and they worked him on becoming a hard player, and he has done that, and he's kind of stayed with that.
He said when you called his name, you actually had to double check to make sure. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I just quickly kind of yelled it, so good on him.
Can you just talk about how Dustin Wolf handled some of his idols?
I thought he was, whether they're idols or not, I thought he did a good job tonight. There was stretches of the game where I thought we were on our heels and a little bit flat-footed, and he made some saves for us to keep us in the game, to allow us to kind of hang around, find a way to win it. And he's done that since he's been up with us this year. Vladdy's done the same thing. So when you look at our record, you have to look at our goaltenders as being a big reason as to why we're sitting where we are.
And when it comes to Nazem, obviously the overtime in Seattle, and then he has a title, sort of redemption story, and how critical impactful he is to this club?
Well, we needed the goal. Like it was a funny game for me tonight. There was only a handful of forwards that I thought were really good tonight. But you have to look to your key people at certain times, and as your keepers on our team. So when you need a goal to be scored, you need those guys to step up. So I'm glad that he was able to do that tonight.
Did it feel like a game where momentum sort of came in waves and sort of went each way? Were you okay with how you guys handled moments where it seemed like go?
No, those stretches, I felt like we stopped moving our feet and we started trying to make plays standing still. And when you're doing that, it's typically the result's going to be a turnover, and then you're chasing and standing around and watching. And I thought there were stretches where we were like that. There were stretches like the first 7 minutes or so where I thought we were really skating well and controlling a lot of the play. But the big thing for us, and you try to tell the group that, and we will again tomorrow, is you're going to be in hard games all the way through here, and if we can find a way to stay with it and find different ways to win, like we did tonight, that's a really big thing. So good on our players for staying with it.
Ask about Martin Pospisil in that second period. Sure. Is that a coach trying to get a message through to a young player about his play?
It's not his play. His play has been fine, but you take two offensive zone penalties, it doesn't work. So if you take physical penalty, that's a different story. But when there are hooks or holds, it's just not a good thing.
So then back in the third period, he's back in the line on the ice in overtime. Yeah. Just your thought process and how you handled that, and what was the right amount of time for that?
Well, at the time, I was going to hit him for the period because we need him. I mean, he's a guy that brings more speed than anybody to our lineup. So hopefully he understands that, hey, if you're going to take physical penalties, that's different because that's what he's all about. But the ones that you can control that are lazier penalties that we can't accept in a team. And he happened to be a guy that, you call it whatever you want, be the sacrificial lamb tonight, I guess, if you be maybe a way to put it.
What does a win like this do for your club?
Same, we're finding ways, and when you look at us from prior stretches last year, we were finding ways to win the game. So I think it helps build your team up a little bit, and I think they start to realize that there's still a lot of things that we have to get better at, and we have to be more consistent with our play, but we're finding ways to win. So it builds a little bit of belief.
Why do you think your club is so resilient this season?
I don't know. The 6 older players probably would be my guess on that, the ones that we have in our leadership group. You look at tonight, Bax and Coles were probably 2 of our best players on the ice, and Connor Zary, you could throw them in that mix, but you need your older guys to step up and play the right way, and I think those 6 guys have pushed our message really well in our room.
All good.
Okay, thanks guys.
11 a.m. off ice.
Mentioned it earlier in the press conference, just about felt like it was a weird night in terms of the forward group, and obviously we had a point out to the one line that thought was all over it throughout the course of this night, but Backlund, Coleman, Zary had a couple of, he probably could have had a hat trick on his own right here tonight. Yeah. But it seemed like every time they were out there, they were either creating physically or off of a physical interaction and then led some chance, but just seemed to be around it here most of the night.
Yeah, and Blake Coleman was leading the way, which is why he was such a keen subject for us to bring onto the show tonight. Yeah. 5 hits, I think, led the way.
That's how it was, yeah.
Just an absolute wrecking ball out there, and not necessarily the type, there were a few, they're going to on the highlight reels, but really it's about, grinding them down and winning battles and, creating turnovers. Those are the types of physical plays the Flames need out of that line in particular. Blake Coleman was doing it. Michael Backlund does what he does seemingly every night. And as we're watching the game progress, you also talk about Connor Zary and he was bringing to the table tonight. Just the guy who was really more creating stuff offensively and maybe the beneficiary of some of the physical work that you alluded to. And just felt like he was a little bit snake bit tonight too, because he could have had a couple the way he was playing.
Well, there was one. I think he had 4 shots on that here tonight, and there's one that got lifted straight over the crossbar that I think he was looking skyward after. Either way, they were effective throughout the course of the night. And I think Blake at one point had 2 assists tonight, and one of them disappeared.
Still looking for that other one.
We're looking for the other assist. So if you've seen that other assist, maybe we can make really, we're just getting word now that it's been added back on. So he sat down at the desk, he had 1 assist, and now he's got a 2 helper night. So
beautiful.
Deservedly so. Colesy earned those hard-earned 2 assists tonight. The second one, he was getting punished in front of the net, but it led to the game-tying goal. So he'll be happy about that, and to see them make what's rightfully his, another assist added to his tally here tonight. And on another night for the Calgary Flames that can be celebrated because they trailed not once but twice late and found a way to come back not once but twice, and then found a way to win it in the go afterward as well. Sick-round Justin Kirkland provides the heroics for the Calgary Flames. He was described as pretty much automatic by his teammate Dustin Wolf as well as his head coach, and it proved to be so here tonight. Next up for the Calgary Flames, it's the Carolina Hurricanes here on Thursday night. Just finished up with a victory up in Edmonton tonight, and they'll make the trek south to Calgary starting tomorrow. Flames, Pens, 4-3 in the shootout. 5-0-1 are the Calgary Flames to begin the 2024-25 National Hockey League season. We're back with on Thursday. Thanks for watching Flames Post Game Live, brought to you by Original 16. We'll see you right back here on Thursday.